Luna, what are you doing? You're so chubby. Welcome back to Our 3 Cents, your favorite podcast on the internet.
Our favorite podcast.
Our favorite podcast, yes. I'm Molly.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Laura.
So, ladies, what has been up this week? It's only Monday, but I can't imagine how much has happened.
Fucking Monday.
Well, I mean, it's been a week since we talked, and, there were other days in between the Mondays.
That's fair.
Oh, Laura's so sad it's only Monday, though.
I hate working.
I know.
I got really sunburned this weekend.
No
What?
one's surprised.
Yeah, no one is surprised. What activities were you doing that made you get sunburned?
I was just playing Frisbee. I
Did you put
have
on
like
sunscreen?
what?
Did you put on sunscreen?
No.
Oh, okay,
No
so
one's surprised.
so why do you think you got sunburned?
I know why I got sunburned. If you let me finish, I was going to say I intentionally did not put on sunscreen. I was offered sunscreen. I knew I would get sunburned, but I didn't think it'd be that bad, and I didn't plan on being in the sun that long without sunscreen. Like I was
15
playing.
minutes is all it takes to get a 3rd degree burn.
I was playing Frisbee for only an hour and a half, and I was like, it's fine. But then I went to the park with one of my friends, and we played Frisbee for like another hour. So I literally stood in the sunlight for another hour, and I could feel the burn. But so far it has not peeled. I'm doing a pretty good job of putting on
I love appealing.
lotion and stuff. I know my shoulders are really burnt. I'm hoping my shoulders will peel, but I don't know. It did low-key hinder me from sleeping last night because every time I turned over onto my shoulders, it burned.
That's the worst.
Yeah, so why would you intentionally not put on sunscreen? Because you thought you would get tan
I thought I'd get like
and not
a little
sunburned?
I thought I'd get a little tan. Like I knew I wasn't at the point where I wouldn't burn at all, but I thought it wouldn't be as bad. Clearly I was wrong.
We are depleting our ozone layer. The sun will burn you. Always put on
Faster and
sunscreen.
harder than it ever has before.
Always wear sunscreen. PSA to our listeners, because I know Molly's not going to listen to me, so at this point, if she complains about being sunburned, it's her own dang fault. Okay, so Molly's sunburned. Did you win Frisbee, or did you just throw it with people?
I did not win Frisbee. I later went on to just throw with my friend and her boyfriend. But I have decided to try out for the club teams in Atlanta. I'm probably just going to be on my friend's club team. But there's like this giant like mixer. It's a combine, which I told y'all I sometimes mix up with Columbine.
Oh, you shouldn't admit
No.
that. You shouldn't admit that to the wide audience.
I never say it like.
Okay, but wait, you know what both of these two things are, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I know what both of them are. I know the difference, but like I have to always think it through before saying it because I will say Columbine whenever I mean combine. I've never said it,
Why are you
but I've
talking
gotten
about
very
combine
close.
so much?
But there's like it's all the mixed teams in Atlanta, and they do like a big tryout. And I signed up for it. Will I go?
Yay!
Someone will probably have to
When
come
is it?
physically get me from my apartment for me to actually go, but I did sign up.
You should totally go. That sounds like a good thing.
Yeah.
I thought you were already on a summer team, though.
I was.
Club.
I do summer league, and then I also do club. I
Yeah.
did Mississippi. I was on a
Okay.
Mississippi team the past 2 summers, but like they're trying to be more serious and like hold practices and stuff, and like I couldn't go to any of them last year, and so I felt like kind of out of the loop.
Why couldn't you go to any of the Mississippi club team practices?
Because they didn't plan them very well. Like I would literally go home the weekend. I would go home for the weekend, and then when I got back, they'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna have practice next weekend." I'm like, I was literally just home. Like, they would always plan it, like, either
Uh-huh.
right before I was coming home or right after I got back. So, like, I didn't
Yeah.
want to make the drive twice. But, yeah, I felt out of the loop with the team. So I figure joining an Atlanta team, it would be better.
You
Yeah.
can actually go to practices.
Yes, you can go to practice. You can participate better. You can meet new people. I don't get how you can be on two teams at once though. Like I know they're not the same like league or anything, but like won't they have like competing tournaments and practices and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's why I'm not playing on Mississippi's team.
But will the two Atlanta teams not have?
Summer league is like a summer league, and then there's club. They're different things.
Yeah, they're different things in total.
It's
like
different entities.
Like league is just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like
uplift and like the soccer thing that like and didn't like Riley or Connor do like a soccer with like the Baptist church or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So like uplift and then Dizzy Dean.
Right, that's what I'm saying though. Wouldn't you have like, oh, Dizzy Dean's playing something this weekend, the Uplift team's playing something this weekend? Like, won't you have to like pick and choose between?
League is during.
I get they're two separate things, but I figure there'll be overlap.
No,
if they're both in the summer.
Sometimes they do. Like league is on the weekdays. It's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we have like a tournament. We have a mid-season tournament and then an end-of-season tournament. Sometimes those like fall on weekends where we have a club tournament, but it's pretty rare, and like the majority of the people who play league don't play club because it's like too much Frisbee for them, I think. I've noticed like some, but there are some club teams that are formed from summer league teams. And then, but like everybody on my team usually doesn't play club. Like last summer, like the first summer I moved here and I played league, I was also on my Mississippi club team, and like nobody played club, and I was really surprised because like everybody I knew back home played club. And then this past summer, a guy joined our team and he also played club. So that was like the first time I'd ever on my team I had somebody who actually played club. But yeah.
Molly playing more Frisbee than the average person? What?
I know.
You remember like 4 years ago when it was like, hey, I think I'm gonna do this thing, but I'll probably quit in a week because I've quit everything else I've started.
Now wait a minute. Do you remember how she did that also with the swim team and how she did quit that within a week?
And the punching bag thing?
I did that for a little while.
That's what it is.
That, yeah.
But I definitely tried to get out of going to Frisbee all the time. It made me so anxious.
We were present.
Yeah. I remember one time one of y'all or somebody was like, I'm gonna go I'm gonna get like Buffalo Wild Wings, probably Bailey, and it's like, does anybody want to go? And I was like, yeah, I just won't go to Frisbee. Like
It was like so easy for Molly to make an excuse like, hey, I'm gonna walk downstairs, anybody want to go?
Oh yeah,
I won't go to Frisbee, it's fine.
Like the small, like I remember I had a small tiny headache that was like probably gonna go away, but I was like I can't go to Frisbee now.
I can't go to Frisbee.
Cannot.
Good
times.
I'm gonna go over to Sam's apartment. Okay, that's fine. I just won't go to Frisbee.
I can't do without you.
I'm going to Sam's apartment. Yeah, I just won't go to Frisbee.
You just won't go to Frisbee. And look at you now.
Look at you now. It was your
used
job.
to work for one.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm surprised you wanted to do two Frisbee teams since like 2 weeks ago you were like, I guess I'll be doing less Frisbee now that it's not my job.
Now you need more Frisbee.
Or no, I guess you said you would do more.
Yeah, I said I'd be doing more because it's not my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Now you are.
You're holding up. Yeah. Holding up to that promise.
Trying to.
That's good.
I have had to like force myself to go to Spring League, though it's on Saturdays. And like I don't want to get up in the morning and go
when people don't have work.
So I don't even set an alarm. Like if I like this it starts at 10 and I woke up at 10 on Saturday and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be late.
So just Miss Frisbee.
No, I actually went, but I made myself go, but yeah.
Bailey, how's your week?
My week's good.
Anything special happen?
I don't know about special.
Anything important happen that your parents are really excited about? In your parents kind of way excited? Not
very
really excited?
Yeah, remind me to talk about what my mother literally just said while we were downstairs. Yeah, I got a job. After 5 months. Roughly. Thank you. Yeah, and that starts Wednesday. It's
Tell them about it.
It is with a semi-recent Japanese-based startup company.
What does that mean, Bailey?
It means that all the people are really young. The CEO is 36 and everyone's younger than him, is what they told me. CEO...
I've done nothing with my life.
I mean, me neither.
Good job.
You started a podcast.
I did.
He and some of the other employees, I believe, live in Japan, speak Japanese, are Japanese, in case that wasn't clear. The people over here, the working hours for them are going to be 1 to 10. I'm going to be somewhere within that. Hours have not been sturdily set yet, but I will definitely start at 1.
And maybe into 10.
Possibly work until 10, which I think will be interesting, because I do like starting later. If I could, like, pick and choose my hours out of, like, the 24-hour window, I would start later than, like, 8 or even 9 maybe, but, one's a little late, but it's money. And it sounds interesting. It sounds exciting. It'll be better than...
Not making money.
Not making money than,
insurance?
Selling people... Well, not selling people insurance. Telling people who sell people insurance how much it would cost to sell people insurance.
Right.
So yeah, I start that Wednesday, so I won't have anything else to report until next week, but I think it will definitely be very interesting.
Well, we're all very excited to hear your update.
My mom, while we were just downstairs, said, I know what Bailey's gonna do with her life. She's gonna be a great marketing person. Craft marketer, because the company is like this crafting kind of thing. So like all it took for you to decide I was gonna be successful at something was just, it's gonna be the job that I have now. And then like 20 minutes later, it was like, well, you're not gonna like this job.
You're only gonna be there for 3 months.
You're not gonna be there for 3 months even. Thanks, Lori.
I just realized that both of you have gotten new jobs in the past month.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I want one.
I know, it's your time. But let's think back that I've been unemployed since October.
I know this was supposed to go well. It's not. This whole situation.
October. Hey guys, it's March.
It is. It's almost April.
It is almost April. I didn't quit till the end of October though, so that doesn't count.
All right.
Yeah, five full months. So.
Well, now you're not anymore.
Now I'm not. Didn't make it to 6. I was really gonna be worried after 6. Yeah, that's all I have for now. Laura?
Nothing has happened to me. Sam's birthday was Saturday. It was fun.
Oh yeah, where'd y'all go for dinner?
Is this place called Skybox in Carville?
Ooh, fancy.
Not really. It's just a bar and grill, like a
Was it up
sports bar.
Was it up in the air? No. No. Okay. Well.
No. There was this really odd person there.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, it was a smaller place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just a sports bar.
Mm-hmm.
And the dining room was just smaller than we expected. None of us had ever been there. The food was really good, but we sat down, and diagonal from us was this family, and it was a mom, dad, and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And she was probably like middle school, early high school.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a Grizzlies t-shirt on, and this guy at a table by himself was talking to the girl.
Ooh.
Not talking to the parents, just talking to the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, the girl didn't want to talk to him, and then the mom was trying to be polite and like discuss, but it was just odd. And then he finally left them alone, and then was just talking to random people around the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And would talk very casually and like friendly to the waiters, like he knew them.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the table, like adjacent to us, they had lined up for another large party, and I know there was like young children, and he started talking to and about the children.
No, why?
And then the mom had a baby that like couldn't walk, and she was trying to do something with the baby, but I was back to them, so I didn't see what was happening. But he kept comparing the baby to a dog. Like, oh, it's just like wrangling a dog. And like the woman wasn't being as receptive as he wanted. And he eventually said, "You have a dog, right?" Like so accusingly.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
if you don't have a dog, we have a problem. And then she said yes. And he said,
"No, I have a baby."
And he said, "Oh, well, what kind?" And I don't know if she said mutt or rescue or whatever. But he said, "Oh, like a rescue, like a rescue, like a rescue, like rescue, like a rescue."
Did he
and
say it that many
saying
times?
it over and over and over. And it was just the most uncomfortable. Like, none of us could really... We were all trying to keep conversation going as to not be the next victims of this man. But it was just like, none of us could actually carry on conversation. I just kept re-saying the same thing over to the table. And then
you kept listening to the guy behind you.
It was my sister, her boyfriend Sam, and I, and then all of the adults. And none of the adults had really gotten like caught on to what was happening yet. Like, they were all so oblivious. And then they all started catching on gradually. And I looked at every single one of them in the face. I was like, if you make fucking eye contact and he starts talking to us, I'm leaving.
Yes.
Do not make eye contact.
Was he like old, middle-aged, like younger?
He was like early 30s. I don't know if he was like
extremely drunk.
No, he was not drunk.
Really?
I don't know if he had something wrong.
Like, okay. From like the way he talked, could you?
Nope.
Did he? Okay.
There was no indication that anything was different about him.
Right.
But it was just a thing, and all the parents were getting very uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable. It was he finally left, and there was just like, you could feel like a collective like weight was lifted off the restaurant. Oh, it was strange. And then nothing else happened to me. That was it.
I got yelled at by an old lady driving a bus today when I was picking my sister up from the middle school for track practice. There's this place you kind of just drive around the back of the middle school, and then you like slip into the main road of the middle school before you get on like the actual road. And there's a stop sign there, and I was kind of stopped, but was kind of riding through, and was like looking to my left to make sure no cars were coming. And then when I turned my head to the right to keep going, there the bus was coming at me, and like would have hit me if I hadn't braked. And
you were getting onto Dilworth?
No, before Dilworth. Like, we were going around through the back, and then there's that road that goes around the front. Right, I was getting onto the road that goes around the front. And you may be saying, well, Bailey, you should have checked to your right before you were driving. You know, I would have done that if I wasn't on a one-way street. She was coming in the wrong way, and she yelled at me. And then when she parked, like, in this parking lot this was at, like, 4:30, so I don't even know why she was here. She was parked in the parking lot, and she had her door open, and it did kind of look like she was still talking to me, and my sister said that she flipped me off. I was like, she probably did.
That's so weird.
I know. My mom was like, did you get the bus number? It's like, I didn't. I didn't think about it.
She could have gotten something
She would have been reported, I know.
She could have gotten something done.
Does she not know my mom is a very prominent first grade teacher in our town?
In this area? She will.
But yes.
Molly,
Queer Eyes Out.
Oh yeah, I watched it in like 2 sittings. There needs to be more than 8 episodes.
They have a spoiler. They have a new dog. No one's been talking about how they have a dog now.
It's so cute.
They have a dog.
No one
Laura, have you not watched it?
It's a pug, don't you? Or a bulldog. It's a French bulldog because Anthony speaks in French about him. And that was my week.
Well, that just sounds like such an exciting week. I did not have anything that exciting happen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, except me and Bailey did go to trivia, and we won
second place and best name. Oh, and those tacos it was a fun little new place in Memphis to try. It's good.
That we'll never get to go back to because Bailey's going to start working horrible hours that is going to ruin my life.
Really, this new job is going to be very, very hard on Laura.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm upset about it.
I mean, if I get off at 7, we can still go.
Bailey,
I'll just have to
get off at 10.
Only if I work full time those days. I will schedule around trivia.
I'm just saying.
Molly, please. You tried. Please try again to take us in. You were gonna take us into our next topic.
Oh yes, okay.
And then I
Or
never
So
let
just
you.
our topic.
lately, I have been
Our
seeing
one
on
topic.
my social media, where it's where I get all of my
Mhm.
news,
Mhm.
that okay, so for a while, people have been boycotting Chick-Fil-A. It
Mhm.
happened, God, I want to say like 4 years ago, whenever they seriously started boycotting Chick-Fil-A, or like made like a big deal about it, because Chick-Fil-A was apparently like donating money to places
Mhm.
that were like anti-LGBTQ, and they were like, don't buy from Chick-fil-A, like they support these bad companies or organizations, da da da. And then like I maybe I'm wrong here, but I thought I heard a bunch of like LGBTQ people like ended up still eating there and like made a big deal about it.
Mhm.
But either way, it died down. It was just kind of brushed under the rug, like most things that are made a big deal and then nobody does anything about it. Um, but recently, it is kicked back up that they are still donating to anti LGBTQ places. And I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts because there are multiple companies, restaurants, organizations that donate to these kinds of places. And I was wondering what your thoughts are on that.
So just to be sure, we're talking about like our thoughts on boycotting any like company or
Yeah, like
establishment.
would you do it? Like what do you think about it? Like do you think it makes as big of an impact as people think? Like do you think boycotting does anything? Would you do it? I like as I honestly like I'm curious. I just I don't know. I'm just curious.
What? Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go
I don't
first?
care.
I was just gonna say yes. I do think boycotting works. But not if it is just at an individual level. Um,
Which most things are,
which
like,
most things are, and that
or
can
like yes, that's how most things work.
right. Not that you shouldn't boycott something like if it's only you, or not necessarily boycott like explicitly, but just like refuse to use certain products, go to certain establishments. I have my own. Yes.
Continue.
Okay. I was gonna say I have my own personal mini boycott against Johnny Depp. So like I haven't seen the new Fantastic Beast movie, don't plan to. Not because I think that me not buying a movie ticket to go see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is going to stop Warner Brothers, the giant movie studio, from employing Johnny Depp. I was just really disappointed with what the director and J.K. Rowling specifically said about it, so I was like, well, I'm not going to see this movie. Not that I think it'll change anything, I was just.
Not that they noticed one ticket sale.
Not that they noticed, not that they. I haven't said anything, so they don't know specifically, like, oh,
That Bailey
Bailey
Edge
Edge
girl
is
did
upset
not.
about Johnny Depp. I just don't want to, and it makes me, feel good. But that's also something easy because I don't care about Johnny Depp that much, and I didn't care about the new Harry Potter movies as much.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you cared that much
Yeah,
about
exactly. Chick-fil-A I do enjoy, so that would be a little harder choice.
Also, I think there's like levels.
Uh-huh.
Like
That's smart.
I think there's like levels to this. Like there's like I specifically look up like makeup brands, and if
Mm-hmm.
they test on animals, I will not use them. And there's
Mm-hmm.
like ways to verify that, and there's labeling on the packaging, but then there's like deeper stuff that
Mm-hmm.
well, we test this, that, and the other, but it's not regulated by this certain entity.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just like things like that. Like I won't buy makeup that's been tested on animals. And
Mm-hmm.
then like Bailey
Good
said,
for
she
you.
doesn't listen to um um or she doesn't watch Johnny Depp movies. And so there's levels like that, and then there's the Chick-fil-A thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this got, if I'm not mistaken, it got put into mainstream media because they originally were very supportive of Blue Lives Matter coming out in
Oh.
retaliation for Black
Mm-hmm.
Lives Matter. And
Hmm.
they took that stance as a company, donated funds, did that. And then when Trump was running for election, when Trump was running for election, um, there was a whole list of companies that came out that had donated to his campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, Chick-fil-A was on or was affiliated with
Mm-hmm.
companies that were on that list.
Mm-hmm.
And then they are a true moral, like their morals, Christian religious company. So their donations represent those ideals and that belief system. So they donate to against things that they don't believe. And would I love to say that I don't spend money at places that don't align with my ideals?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Can I? And am I willing to currently, in my current state, put forth the effort to look up, read about, research, do due diligence
Mm-hmm.
for everything that I buy, everywhere that I go? No.
Yeah, see, I was going to bring that up because you do not buy from companies that makeup companies that test their products on animals, um, and we're talking about human lives here. This company
Yeah, Laura.
donates money in that are against, and like I'm just playing devil's advocate. I eat Chick-fil-A like every week.
You live in Atlanta. That's where Chick-fil-A lives.
Ooh, that's true.
But I also don't boycott any other companies.
Mm-hmm.
And like I am with y'all. I agree that like if I had the what like I couldn't even if I wanted to. I love Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good to me. Some people are like, I ate it one time 5 years ago and I haven't gone back since. Like, great for you. I think it's great.
Uh-huh.
But I just think it's interesting that you won't buy from makeup companies that test on animals, but you won't take the time to not go eat at places that donate to anti-LGBTQ.
See,
but again, Chick-fil-A is very good.
That I think, and that it's a horrible excuse. But Chick-fil-A is the only Chick-fil-A.
That's what I was about to say.
I can get my foundation color in a lot of different brands.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
So like, I know that my specific the makeup that I have in my house, I can get all of those shades and all of those anything in. Like if it came out tomorrow that every single brand that I use tests on animals, I could go get more and not really know a difference. I'm sorry, I can't get a different Chick-fil-A. I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't.
That's true.
And
that's fair.
I think
there's also Starbucks and
man, what's wrong with Starbucks?
Starbucks is just controversial to begin with.
The other side boycotts.
People have issues with Starbucks all day long. And then Jimmy John's, their owner, has been accused of poaching animals.
I know somebody who has.
And my best friend works at a Jimmy John's.
I know a girl who, for 4 years, has very outspokenly boycotted Jimmy John's.
Oh, really? Because of animal poaching? Is that
among other personal reasons? But that was the tipping point for her. Was that this is, yeah, and I think it's based on your ideals and beliefs too. Like I said, I want to, and I want to. And I hate the excuse that other people give. Like it's not affecting me. Like the money isn't going to like kill anybody, and it's not. It's not blah 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 whatever. But it is going to further ideals that I don't believe in, further stigmas and ancient ideals. But I don't see myself boycotting anytime soon.
But it's also not like, and this isn't factual, that not, every LGBTQ person boycotts Chick-fil-A.
right.
I'm pretty sure I've seen a mix of people say, oh, I'm LGBTQ and I eat Chick-fil-A all the time. And then, there are others who are just strongly against it and boycott it.
There was a tweet the other day that was something about, it was the tweet that said, kind of on the opposition of what what you're talking about. It was, you all want a revolution, but you can't even boycott a chicken restaurant. And it was like talking about how, and it was kind of a thread, and it was like, you all want to like rise up against oppressors and take down the man and do this, but you can't even give up like your chicken sandwich and everything. And it was like,
Right, because it could
right.
be, a business is a business. Like, what they do on the back end is their own business. Like if it had never come out that they were donating to those companies, people would have continued to eat there, no question about it.
What I was gonna say in those comments, though, those memes that are like somebody secret eating or like gifts. It's like, oh my god! And then there was like so many of those under it, and it was like,
I always like the Mariah Carey one, like I can't read. She's like putting on glasses.
Yeah.
I can't read.
It was like those type of things, and it was like, I'm LGBT, I'll never eat this, and then there was like a gif of like whatever, and I was like, yeah.
I mean, I think that at some point we should acknowledge our privilege here, just like,
yes,
we're straight women, so it's not going to
White
affect
women.
us.
For sure. Straight white women.
Yeah, well, so far Chick-Fil-A hasn't been accused of being racist, as far as I know. So,
she's coming.
Yeah. Knock on wood. So I think it's definitely easier for us, to continue to eat at Chick-fil-A and to
no doubt,
make excuses
and to be able to forget about it.
Because I'm even
it's
reading the article,
hard.
I'm like, oh well, those charities, I mean, they're not actively hurting LGBT people as far as I know, which I mean, they could be. I don't know a lot about charities.
It's hard to put yourself, for me at least, it's hard to put myself in their shoes. Like, I honestly can't even say that I wish I could be against it. Like, what Laura was saying, like, if I could, I would, or like, I want to, but I can't. I don't know, whatever you're saying. Because like, it's so hard to put myself in their shoes and like have somebody be like against who I am as a person. I can't imagine it.
Well, I mean, think of like if any company was being like sexist against women. I don't know what that would have. I guess kind of like Hobby Lobby. Like Hobby Lobby, a few years. Don't give me that.
I was about to say, it looks
about.
like Laura's giving you a look.
Yeah, she is. Hobby Lobby a few years ago. I don't know when exactly. I just know Obama was president. So 2016 or earlier, they were in trouble. I think because they did not want to cover birth control with the insurance they provided, which that is something specifically affecting, women taking birth control for, pregnancy reasons, which is probably their big thing. They're a big Christian company. Lots of Christians are against birth control, but it's also for acne, for PCOS, the ovarian disease that women can have. And also, like, they're just a company. Why should they have a say in what medication they cover for your insurance? I don't like that Hobby Lobby did that. However, I love walking in a Hobby Lobby, looking around at all their crafts. Like, I've definitely bought stuff from Hobby Lobby before, and I cannot say that I will not in the future. I guess what I'm saying is that I'm a bad activist, a selfish
guess that's
one.
what it is.
It's easy for me to not watch Johnny Depp movies, but if I want some good Chick-fil-A sauce,
it's that there's easy things for us to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's hard things for us to do,
Mm-hmm.
none of which are going to affect us because of our privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a direct and obvious example of white feminism and white activism.
Yeah.
We're not affected. We will never be affected.
Yeah.
Our friends may be, our colleagues may be, whoever we know may be, but we have the ability to joke and say we can't about eating a chicken sandwich, because our identity is not being questioned by this company.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember the Hobby Lobby thing,
Mm-hmm.
but just trying to think about it, there's no company that has, in my head, gone against this, besides all the companies that were giving to Trump.
Yeah.
There's no company that attacked females
Right.
or what have you, to the extent that Chick-fil-A is outwardly supporting the claims against them, and they're not saying that they're false. They're not saying that they don't. They're accepting these and sticking by it being their company policy and company morals and beliefs. But it doesn't make it right.
Mm-hmm.
And this all spurred because that airport isn't letting them.
I guess so. When I was researching, trying to find an article talking about it, I saw the airport stuff, but that was after I'd already seen the Chick-fil-A stuff. So I think what happened is a few years ago when this all came out, Chick-fil-A was like, yes, we'll stop our donations like that. And then they were trying to get in an airport. An airport denied them because they found out, I guess, or just looking, I don't know, through the money or something. They found that there are a few charities that are anti-LGBT or have some kind of anti-LGBT stance. Chick-fil-A is still giving to them, so people are like, oh, not just they're doing this now, but you continue to do it even after you said that you would not. So
yeah. Besides companies, would you boycott a person who believes? Thank you, Bailey. Does something against what you believe in, or supports something that you don't believe
this is
in?
such an odd example, but I like this rapper called Lil Dicky, and he came out with an album back in like 2014, 2013. It's been a really long time, and he finally released an album. Or no, he finally released a single last year, and I was super excited. Started listening to it, and I was like, Chris Brown is on this track. And I texted my friend who's also a fan of Lil Dicky, and I was like, did you hear the new song? And he's like, yeah, I'm not listening to it anymore. I was like, it's a good song, but I can't support it because Chris Brown's on it, and I don't like Chris Brown. It was hard because I really did like that song,
you don't support Chris Brown because of what Chris Brown did.
Huh?
I think she meant the latter.
Just making sure.
Laura wanted to clarify that. Is it because you dislike Chris Brown, or you dislike that he beats, women?
I dislike him because of what he does to women.
Yeah.
There we go.
I do like his music, but I don't like him as a person.
I asked because when Molly brought this up, it kind of reminded me of how people are reacting to the new Leaving Neverland, the documentary about Michael Jackson, and how after years of people accusing and there being speculation, we're finally getting multiple people's accounts of what happened in Neverland and what Michael Jackson did and what they suffered through and what it was like to be one of his victims. And there's been people that I've seen that are completely boycotting his music. I've heard talk on different radio stations about how, well, we're not going to play him anymore. Different things like that. And it's the same principle in my head.
It's I think people talk about this a lot when an actor or someone has been revealed or accused of some kind of sexual abuse or assault or something, separating the art from the artist.
Yes. Wouldn't you say that it's the same separating the
I
product
think,
from the production?
Producers.
Yeah,
I think so in a way. Yeah, definitely.
It's not okay to do, Michael Jackson was a very good artist. He was a very good musician. He was, he made very good music and is an icon in his own right. What he did with his power is unacceptable and unforgivable, and listening to it now especially does not feel right.
Yeah.
And the same thing is kind of true for any company, as you're eating there, as you're giving your money, as you're doing whatever, you're giving into a system that represses and hurts someone.
Yeah.
I think the difference, though, is that, like, listening to a Michael Jackson song, you know, like, before this documentary came out, you didn't feel the way you did about it, like, because you didn't know everything. But, like...
Well, so that's what I was trying to say, but I didn't know how to say it. It's kind of,
It, like,
for
leaves
years,
it leaves a bad taste in your mouth listening to it
for
now.
For years, it's been like that.
Like, I listened to Chris Brown in middle
before
school, and I loved Chris Brown's music. I thought it was amazing. And listening to it, like, now, his new music especially puts a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I could still listen to With You by Chris Brown and probably not think of it in a bad way, but because I was going to try to make the same reference with Michael Jackson, but all his music is old. But yeah, I mean, like, and he
no longer alive.
But they're also two very different people. Michael Jackson was an icon, and not to make light of the situation, but whenever those scandals came out, or I like read about it on the news when I was little, I was terrified to leave my parents in the supermarket because I thought Michael Jackson was going to come get me.
Why you, Molly?
I didn't know where the dude was.
Mississippi?
I don't think I knew.
Yeah, how was he?
I don't think I knew that he was a celebrity at the time. I think I just thought he was some, like, child molester, and so...
You only knew he was a predator, so you didn't know he was, like, located in L.A.
Exactly.
or wherever.
Yeah, I thought it could be anywhere.
He's here, and he's gonna get me.
He's a specter. Gosh.
So, what can we... Like, I don't want to say that because it's so dumb.
That's what I was going to say is how do we...
But, like, how do we rectify this situation?
I was going to say, how do we reconcile that we do have things that we'll take a stand on, but then when they don't affect us,
or
we
it's
can
just
brush
like
it off.
We can't do it.
Yeah, wait, I haven't brought up The Good Place yet. When should I do that?
Fuck, right now.
Right now, in the most... Spoiler alert for The Good Place, you know, fast forward, whatever. In the most recent season of The Good Place, they have come to learn that no one has gotten into the good place in a very long time because no one can earn enough points. That's the system, is you have to have enough points. You have to be like the cream of the crop to get to the good place, and no one is making it. Even this guy that they found named Doug, who, while high, guessed essentially how the good place worked, and so is he has been trying to live out this perfect life, trying to, like...
He knows the points. He knows what points
he doesn't,
what does.
He doesn't buy his own produce. He grows it himself, so he's not worried about, you know, pesticides or
deforestation,
unfair labor, deforestation. Yeah. He holds, like, he steps on a snail and he's, like, crushed.
Like, he knows that when you say a cuss word, it's this minus
you
this
lose,
many points.
Right.
And when you do this good thing, it's plus this many points. So he lives his life out calculating his own points, knowing that at the end of his life he should have enough. But our main characters learn through a bunch of different series of events that there hasn't been no one in over 400 years.
Something like that.
That's gotten in.
Oh, including him. He is not... They can see how many points he has now. He is not...
Yeah, he's not there yet.
If he was to die, you know, immediately, he would not go to the good place.
And he was far from it.
Yes. They find that just all of the choices that humans make carry so much weight that they don't know, and they're talking to Maya Rudolph, who is like, well, you should do the research. But Ted Danson is like, you know, humans don't know what, you know, when they buy a tomato, what pesticides are you know, the stuff we were talking about earlier. Kristen Bell says, specifically talking about Chick-fil-A, there's a chicken sandwich that if you eat it means you hate gay people, and it's delicious. So delicious. Which really, you know, encapsulizes. Is that a word?
Encapsulates what we are talking about.
It is not good to eat it and support these companies that are so-called charities that Chick-fil-A is supporting through our business, but it's delicious and humans are, I guess weak, imperfect. But to kind of, on the flip side of that, there was a flashback in season 1, I think, of Kristen Bell and an ex-boyfriend, where the ex-boyfriend found out something bad about the local coffee shop, like the manager was like sexually harassing people or something like that. And Kristen Bell at the time took that as he was just trying to be a better person than her. So she went through and found, all of these, local coffee shops that they can't support for this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember exactly what happened in that episode, but I don't think the point is, nor the point of the most recent season, the point is not that we shouldn't even try. So how we're, all three of us, I know, are going to continue to eat Chick-fil-A, even though we are not against anyone who is LGBT. So what...
Well, I see people who are boycotting Chick-fil-A, but they believe Michael Jackson. They believe that he is not a predator.
I mean, I don't think that really has anything to do.
But I think it's like picking and choosing your battles. Like this person, I see them advocating all over, everywhere. And to me, seeing them support Michael Jackson, but then not support, or be like, boycotting Chick-fil-A, I think right there, you're kind of picking and choosing your battles.
I mean, I think that that's just a flaw in that person for two reasons. One, she's just the same as us. She's just the opposite. We're like, none of us want to support Michael Jackson, but we're still going to support Chick-fil-A. And two, just because that she is wrong about Michael Jackson, I mean, again, as far as we know, nothing has been, proven. He's dead. It's never going to go to a court of law, I assume. But just because she is wrong about him does not mean that everyone else is right about what Chick-fil-A has done. I mean, we have literally the receipts that they are still donating to these charities that don't seem to be good for the LGBT community. So every time you eat at Chick-fil-A,
donate the same amount
do you
of
donate
money?
The same amount or more to a pro-LGBT?
I actually do that. I signed up for this like HRC campaign or something like that, and
good.
I give $5 a month. So
nice. Look at you.
Thank you.
So I mean, doing something like that kind of counteracts and balances it out.
Yeah.
Not.
We're wrong.
We are wrong.
This is our podcast, and we're wrong. So.
And I don't know what the right. Like if you start trying to do everything right, you're gonna be like Doug, who tries to do everything and you still won't be able to do it right because the world is complicated and you can't research everything.
Right.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wanted to get onto the topic of like trying to be the better good and like doing everything possibly right, supporting all the right things, boycotting all the wrong things. This and that, and just trying to be this perfect, like, open-minded, welcoming person, and that's like a whole other topic. But I think it's next to impossible. You can't be this perfectly good, open-minded, welcoming person, no matter how much you want to be. I'd love to meet the person.
Another part of that episode was how miserable Doug's life is, basically, because he just lives in this shack all by himself, is super, worried when he kills a snail because he feels like he has put out some large negativity out into the world by accidentally stepping on a snail.
Well, and he's not living his life. Like, he's living it by these set rules that aren't his.
Maybe this could be just a little kickstart, and maybe we could all do it in the next week. Look at the restaurants you go to, the products you buy, the stores you frequent,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of assess a handful of those
Mm-hmm.
to the same degree that Chick-fil-A has been assessed. Most of the things that businesses do, public businesses do, are public record, so it won't be hard to find who they support and what they give to and where their money's going.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little shallow dive into their
Mm-hmm.
who they support, who they fucking follow on Twitter. Like, it's not hard to
True.
see who.
I was impressed you did that with your makeup. I never do that unless it's, someone
it's-
like Chick-fil-A that's hit the news.
It's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Like, they do have the things on the side, and it's not like a. I think I made it sound like a super activist thing. It's not a thing. I only wear makeup like once a month. It's a like. It's
Google
just
like Mac animal testing or Estee
or
Lauder.
there's a bunny on the side of there's like a tiny emblem of a bunny on the side of most packaging, and if they have it, they don't.
Okay, neat.
So I mean that's kind of the extent.
Yeah.
And most of them don't because it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
But some of them still do or still test some of their products and whatever. But maybe just do a kind of little introspective look into what you do and use and frequent and whatever, and just see what the other companies are doing. Chick-fil-A's in the media right now. New Balance gets talked about a lot because they were very outspoken in the Trump campaign.
Really? See, sometimes you just don't know these things. You miss the news.
There's some that are super obvious and are very conservative or very liberal. There are some that are not so much, and it's just maybe just take a quick look, see what you're using, and see if it changes your mind at all.
For help with that, if you ever want to give to charities and you're like me and you get worried about it, because I'm like, ooh, what if these charities are bad? At least with how they use their money, I'm not sure if they test like for other things, but Charity Navigator is a really good website where you can just look up, and they show, I think, like the Susan G. Komen Foundation, which is like a very prominent breast cancer research, or I don't know if they research, but breast cancer charity. I think their CEO has gotten in trouble for taking too much money, and Charity Navigator shows like how much the CEO gets paid, how much they spend, I don't know what their word for it is, but like how much money does it take for them to raise like $1?
Yeah.
Like how much of $1 do they spend trying to raise more money? So
they do that for all too, like Goodwill, the Salvation Army, like Goodwill CEO gets all the money. Goodwill doesn't actually give to any charities. They just resell their products at a discounted rate, so the CEO gets all of it back.
And so, like I was saying, Salvation Army is one of the charities Chick-fil-A got in trouble for giving to because they've also come under fire for being anti-LGBTQ. Forget the Q sometimes. Don't forget the Q. I don't know if they would show you things like that on this website, but that's a start, and I'm sure that there are others that show like their ideology.
And more resources will be in the comments just so you can look it up if you want to.
Give me some, I'll stick them there.
Well, you got the one that you had,
yeah.
so.
But yeah, I think that's a good idea. Try,
it's not to change your mind. It's not to make you boycott anything. It's not to make you support anything or change your daily routine. It's just Chick-fil-A's under fire now. The Salvation Army has been under fire. New Balance was under fire. People come under fire all the time. But you're probably supporting things that, if you're really questioning Chick-fil-A, you're probably supporting just the same by getting gas or by driving the car you drive or by wearing the shoes you do. Businesses are corporate, and corporate's normally bad. They say like corporations don't have hearts, and it's true.
Excuse me.
Like Gillette just released that kind of feminist-driven cutting out toxic masculinity campaign, and there was people boycotting on the other side. Gillette didn't do that because they actually believe that. Somebody in Gillette may have, and somebody in Gillette may have said, we should do that, but they spent multi-millions of dollars on the campaign ad because it would get them talked about.
Yes.
The people in the company believe or don't believe the same way the people who are working behind the counter at your local Chick-fil-A probably don't support what they're giving to.
Definitely not at your local. Have you ever heard of people like shoplifting to like stick it to the corporations?
Yeah.
Like no, if you shoplift from Walmart, that hurts your just Walmart workers that
Yeah.
are making, minimum wage or something.
But it's just something to think about, something to analyze, something to kind of get your head around how corporations work and what they're supporting and what you're supporting by supporting them. And if it changes your mind, cool. If it doesn't, you're not the devil and you're not going to go to hell for it.
I was going to say, I think if you're someone like us who is going to eat at Chick-fil-A but also does not want to...
Feels bad every time they do.
who wants to support the LGBT community, not support against them, you probably are going to try to find some other way to balance out, to put that good into the world. So I definitely think people could say we're just making excuses if they are part of the LGBT community. Fair.
We're not saying we're doing it right.
Yeah, we're not saying we're perfect. We're just telling you what we're gonna do.
We're showing you how the normal white woman thinks.
We're not perfect, we're honest.
And this has been our 3 cents.
Cut. End. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. We did that under an hour.
Tell us if we're wrong in the comments below.
This is great. Now I get to go to bed on time. And yeah,
not if you keep talking and not taking us out. You only have 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Working 8 to 5 is really hard. Okay, so thank you for listening to Our 3 Cents, your favorite podcast on the internet, our favorite podcast as well. You can find this on your local podcast listening sources. That could be YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes.
Wow, Molly.
I had ice cream before we did this. So
she thinks we're on Spotify because she had ice cream?
I'm just really hyper. I was listing things. I've been doing a lot of hand motions. No one can see me, but yeah, thanks to Kevin MacLeod for Digital Lemonade.
Which is a song we use.
As always, I am Molly.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Laura.
Goodbye.
And this has been Our 3 Cents. Bye.
Bye.
I said Our 3 Cents earlier. Oh shit. Just in time. 3, 2, 1.
There's an hour.
1 hour.